Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome back to Thornton Farm, episode number 16. And most importantly, Happy New Year. Happy 2018. Hopefully, your 2017 went off without a hitch. Hopefully, you're not nursing too much of a headache this afternoon, this morning. Whenever you happen to be watching this episode, I hope that again you had a very safe and relaxing New Year's Eve and got everything done that you wanted to get done. Hopefully 2017 was also very good to you, and I give you my warmest wishes for a very successful and very happy 2018 as well. So we are here on field number 9. I'm going to drive back up here to the end row here, and I have no idea why the header has turned a very bright red. I did not notice that when we were harvesting wheat. I'll have to go back and look at the video and see if that were the case, but I will tell you that if I drop this header, or in other words disconnect it from the combine, it turns back green again. So I'm not real sure what is going on with this, but whatever the case is, that is just a little glitch there. And again, I don't think it's anything to do with the map. Maybe it's something to do with this combine. I'm not sure if I've ever used this combine before, maybe on Colborough Park Farm, I think. But in any way, we're going to jump out really quick because we need to head up here to our John Deere, and we need to go ahead and get it moved out of the way, because otherwise we're not going to have room to for our combine to turn. So we will back this guy up, hopefully, and not hit the fence too hard anyways. And hope everyone is having a wonderful day. As I said before, we have a very busy day going on here. We've got almost all hands on deck today for this game day. Now, as you can tell, we are in the second game day of fall, second game day of autumn. It's just after 8:30 in the morning, and we have been super busy here on the farm doing a couple of different things. Now, to recap from episode number 15, you guys know that I believe we baled straw, so we managed to get quite a large harvest of straw. It was more than what I thought it was going to be, and based on what our numbers appear to be, as well as based on what orders we have already essentially reserved and or sold for other farmers, I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be all right on the amount of straw that we've managed to harvest off the two fields. And again, I think we're going to be okay, so we're not going to stress over that. Now, Smithy is actually still sick, although he is feeling a little bit better. We have just erred on the side of caution and essentially keeping him at home one more day. Mr. Thornton cooked up some nice homemade chicken noodle soup, and we sent over to him so that he can continue to convalesce today, because the last thing that we want to do is we don't want Sid, and we certainly don't want Thomas, nor do I want myself to get sick, to catch Smithy's germs. And so as a result, we're going to give him one more day off. Let's just kind of direct your attention to our weather forecast up there, because, well, it is not looking too good, as you can kind of see. We've got current temperature 50 degrees, soil temperature of 54 at the present point in time. But then look at that, we've got rain tomorrow. The only blessing out of that might be that it will be a high of 74 degrees. So if the rain comes late this evening or sometime tonight, and we get that warmer temperature, maybe get a bit of a breeze, if our crops come in, and they're not in right now, these guys are still showing as green status. So we've got sunflowers, soybeans, and corn that's comprising fields 38, 34, 31, 30, and 29. So we could certainly afford to let them continue to grow, and hopefully they'll come in on the 4th, Monday the 4th. So, Sid is still here working with us. Sid is over in field number 13 and he is cultivating. The boys were up quite late last night. As a matter of fact, we all were, getting the straw in and getting that stacked in the barn. And then we basically began spraying liquid slurry onto field number 13. We've left a spraying rig up there in field number 12, and we'll get to that momentarily. So we've sprayed one application of liquid slurry into field number 13. Sid is cultivating that in, as you can see him working there on the Deutz Fahr with the cultivator. And so what we will do after he gets done cultivating is we will be seeding oilseed radish, and we will be applying our one application of chemical-based fertilizer at that particular point in time. Now, we can do that legally. The new legislation for this county and everything has basically restricted us from only being able to apply one. Hopefully he's not going to hit the case up there. We can only apply one level or one layer, one application of chemical-based fertilizer per year. And this new legislation went in effect after the harvest season. So obviously they're giving us the ability to use whatever chemical-based fertilizers we used for the harvest to bring that up to full growth. And then of course we're starting off by electing to do that now. So we're putting the liquid slurry down, cultivating that in. We're going to plant oilseed radish with chemical-based fertilizers. That'll give us our second level of fertilization. Then in the spring, most likely in the spring, when we cultivate that oilseed radish into the ground, that is when we will get our third level of fertilization. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to go with. Hopefully that will continue to work for us as we continue throughout our farming operations here. So we're going to go ahead and empty Thomas out here. And I think what we will do is we will do this, and then I wanted to take just a moment to explain something. I mentioned in yesterday's game, or in the previous episode number 15, I mentioned that I've absolutely fallen in love with a real-life farming show on YouTube called Our Wyoming Life. And it basically follows Mike and his wife, and Mike was a radio DJ and his wife was an advertising sales person for the radio station wherever they worked, and she was originally from Wyoming. Her father was a rancher in Wyoming and had a large parcel of land and raised cattle and everything, and so he passed away, and when he did, they basically inherited the ranch and everything that went along with that. And so he and his wife have moved to Wyoming and basically set up the ranch there, and he raises cattle for the sale of that's his income. He raises cattle, breeds his cows each year. They give birth to calves in the spring, and then he raises those calves, fattens them up, and then either keeps some of them, some of the females, or he may choose to sell them for for breeding purposes, or maybe even for slaughter, however that's going to work out. So one of the things that happened a couple of weeks ago was one of our viewers, and I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but because quite honestly I can't remember the viewer's handle that left the comment, but he was basically talking about the fact that, especially here on Thornton Farm, that our farm area, our pasture area that we have access to here in Thornton Farm, is much, much too small for the amount of cattle or the amount of dairy cows that we have or that we own on this farm. And just to kind of bring you up to speed here, we do have 110 cows here on our dairy. And you're absolutely right. This person that left this comment is absolutely right that we have way too many cows for the amount of space that we have allocated to them. And the interesting thing is that around the same time that this question got asked was when I started watching Our Wyoming Life. And Mike gave a sort of a very detailed, very good explanation as to sort of the dollars and cents of ranching and farming in today's world. And he gave an example that if you were going to raise 100 cows, now of course he's talking about raising cows for the production of beef, and I doubt very seriously if it really differs that much from the dairy world. Obviously, he's got thousands of acres of land, Mike does, in Wyoming, and his pastures measure miles from one side to the other. And so obviously with a dairy operation, your cows are much, much closer to the dairy operation because they've got to be milked twice a day, if not more. I think twice a day is what most dairy cows are milked, and that occurs every single day, 365 days a year, even on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Thanksgiving Day, Easter Sunday, etc. And so Mike was saying that for 100 cows, each cow needs approximately 30 acres of pasture land. Now that includes what they need to graze on, as well as what would be required from a field perspective in growing grass to cut and rake, tedder, and bale, because he does all of that there in Wyoming. He basically, that's how he supports his cattle in the wintertime, is through hay production. So if we do the math, 100 cows, 30 acres per cow, that's 3,000 acres that we need. Well, we don't have 3,000 acres here that's representative within Thornton Farm, certainly not within what we own. And I guess the reason why I bring this up is because even though I take great pride in the fact that I even say what my motto is sort of realism through simulation, and what that means is that I try to do everything as close to the real life procedures and everything as far as I understand them, and also within the limitations of the game itself. And I just see something. I see that we've left this gate open down here, and I need to go and close that. So again, within the confines of the game itself, we like to essentially try to be as real as possible. And I bring this up again only because I sort of have been watching this video series, and this question came up, and I think it's an example of one of those things where we kind of just have to close our eyes, and we kind of have to understand that, well, basically what Giants has given us, what OxygenDavid, as far as the author of this map, has given us, or Stevie, or Bullet Bill, or CC 101, whatever, whoever the map author, map provider is, what they give us, there are limitations to that. And most of those limitations boil down to Giants. Okay, Giants have only put in so much functionality within the game. The modding community attempts to try to stretch that out as best as possible, but it doesn't always align with real world properties, okay, the physics of the real world. So again, this is one of those examples where we've got to kind of just close our eyes, because we want to just simulate having a fairly good size dairy. 100 cows was what we started with. Probably for the amount of land that we have, especially for that dairy pasture and everything, we probably wouldn't have much more than about 25 or so cows, again based on Mike's examples of what he provided on his explanation on his dollars and cents and everything. And so I guess bottom line is, I'll maybe said in another way, is, don't get hung up in the fact that, if I have 100 cows, or we have 200 cows, or we have 1,000 cows, or some other YouTuber as far as that goes, that it's the limitations within Giants. If we want to sort of simulate a large-scale dairy where we need to have higher quantities of food that we need to produce, we need to be able to haul milk more frequently or whatever, that's what the case is. I've often said that I wish that Giants would incorporate into the game the ability for us to move cows from one pasture to the other. Now in simulating a dairy, maybe that's not very true to life. Maybe that doesn't really exist from that standpoint. And when I was a young boy, a kid, one of my friends in school owned a dairy. His father owned a dairy. And we used to go out there and play on the dairy when I was a kid, and then as I got older and was involved in FFA and some of the other programs in school, we used to go out and work on the dairy. And I would wager to guess that he probably only had 40 to 50 dairy cows, and he had several hundred acres of land. I doubt very seriously if it was 1,500 acres, which would be about the math if we looked at 40 to 50 cows based on Mike's numbers. And again, I doubt very seriously if the money or the stats of everything differ that much depending on whether it's actually dairy cows or whether it is just a regular ranch. So anyway, I just thought I would throw that out there and just say, again, a lot of this all boils down to the limitations that Giants has within the game. I think we all enjoy the variety of different things. We enjoy a small-scale operation. We enjoy simulating a large-scale operation from time to time. And again, it's just kind of the way that it is. And I think it's all down to kind of what we're limited to as to what we can do and what we can't do, and maybe things that we would really like to do, but again, things don't look right maybe from the visual perspective, because again, it's a little hard to do that. So looks like Sid is making really good progress there, cultivating in the black gold, the liquid slurry. Again, it's hopefully Smithy will be back tomorrow. Regardless of whether it rains tomorrow or not, we will have things that we can do. The weatherman does not forecast a whole lot of rain, so we should still be able to get out there in the fields and put those oilseed radish seeds into the ground. At least that's what I'm hopeful that we can do. And that is the plan for that particular day. Helper D is blocked by an object. Not sure what that is, but it looks like that error went away, so that was a good thing. Anyway, again, just want to wish everyone a very happy new year. Hope again that your day has gone well. And I'm choosing to release an episode today on New Year's Day because it's something that there's kind of an old wives' tale, I suppose you could say, and that is that what you do on the first day of the year is often something that you may do throughout the new year. And because this is something that I do enjoy, I enjoy bringing you these videos, I enjoy playing the game and everything, that hopefully by doing this on the very first day of 2018 that it will be a successful year for the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and will be a successful year of Grizzly Bear Sims playing these various games and that sort of stuff, and of course meeting a lot of more new friends and all of that good stuff. So anyway, I think I'm going to let you get on to your day because again, I know that your time is valuable, and I think possibly one of the other episodes that I had recorded not too long ago, maybe on Midtown USA, did run a bit long in the tooth, and so for that I do apologize. I do try to keep things at around 30 minutes or so, but I think this one's probably going to top out at about 21 minutes, 22 minutes, something like that. And I will just go ahead and start wrapping things up. Again, my name is Jerry Grizzly Bear Sims, and I do appreciate you watching my episodes. I appreciate your friendship. I enjoy so much bringing you these rated G shows, producing rated G content suitable for audiences of all ages. Oftentimes folks tell me that they set their kids, their grandkids, their nieces, nephews, what have you, down in front of the computer, in front of Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, because they know that they can do that. And look at what who's driving that? Thomas is driving that. He has backed that harvester up into that tree there, and he's got it all cattywampus there. I'll have to have a chat with him about that. But hey, accidents happen, and that's AI at its best, right? Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let it go right here, and thank you again for watching. Take good care of yourselves and take good care of each other. Come back again either here on Thornton Farm or on Midtown USA or some future map down the road. You're always welcome here on my farm. Take good care, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. God bless you all. Bye-bye.